can be sure that on this stage, every breath you take, the whole country will be watching you. Every kid with a hoop and a dream wants above all to someday play at the Final Four. For the third time, the ultimate Final Four city of Indianapolis plays host to college basketball's showcase event. Arizona and North Carolina up in the first national semifinal, followed by Minnesota against Kentucky. Welcome, everyone, and hi, everybody. Jim Nantz. It is Final Four time. That means that the intensity is high, the tickets are impossible, and 4 teams harbor a dream of winning a national championship on Monday night. It also means that Billy Backer is along once again to analyze the action. And Billy, what about this quartet we have here in Indianapolis?
Jim, everybody knows there are 3 number ones here, but Arizona belongs as the number 1 the way they're playing. I don't think I've ever been to a Final Four where all 4 teams can win both games. That's why it's going to be so exciting here today.
Well, the only team that was not a number 1 seed is Arizona, a 4 seed coming out of the Southeast region. But the Wildcats going against North Carolina, a team that in the opening game of the season, Arizona beat by 11. What do you read into that?
Well, Arizona and North Carolina did play the first game of the year, but it has absolutely nothing to do with today's game. Matter of fact, the coaches didn't even show their teams the films of that game. Even though you see the stats right there, the things that are different. North Carolina's entire style of play is different, and Miles Simon didn't even play for Arizona. So I think we're going to see 2 different teams. Who knows what the outcome is going to be.
One thing that has been pointed out all season from that opening game, Mike Bibby in his college debut had 22 points, and he continues to play with all kinds of savvy. For a freshman in this tournament, he's been quite remarkable.
Well, Jim, just a year ago, he was one of the outstanding high school players in America. We've seen his penetration time and time again, but he's also proved to be an outstanding perimeter shooter. When the ball's in his hand, Arizona really creates an offense.
And how about Antoine Jamison, North Carolina's leading scorer and rebounder?
There's nobody that's come onto the basketball scene on the college level with the quickness and the great hands inside of Antoine Jamison. He is very difficult to guard, but today we're going to see Bennett Davison, who gets off the floor just as quick defensively in the best one-on-one matchup of the series.
All right, starting lineups and opening tip coming up. Final Four from Indianapolis in just a moment.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA National Semifinal game is sponsored by Genuine Chevrolet, United States Postal Service Priority Mail, Nike, and by RCA.
Wildcats finished 5th in the Pac-10 this year, but it made it through the Southeast, coming back from 10 down with 7 minutes left in the opener. Then 10 down with 14 minutes to go against Charleston, knocking out Kansas, and then Providence in overtime. North Carolina out of the East, fresh off of winning the ACC tournament, then beat Fairfield, coming back from 7 down at halftime. Colorado, where Smith broke Rupp's record. Cal, and then Louisville in a blowout. For the 20th year at the Final Four, the public address announcer is Frank Fallon.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the RCA Dome for today's NCAA game between the Arizona Wildcats and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Now let's meet the starting lineup. For Arizona at forward, a 6'5" junior from Seattle, Washington, number 23, Michael Dickerson. For North Carolina at forward, a 6'9" sophomore from Berlin, Germany, number 13, Ademola Ogunlesi. For Arizona at forward, a 6'8" junior from Sebastopol, California, number 21, Bennett Davison. For North Carolina at forward, a 6'9" sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 33, Antoine Jamison. For Arizona at center, a 6'11" sophomore from Albuquerque, New Mexico, number 42, A.J. Bramlett. For North Carolina at center, a 7'3" senior from Maastricht, Netherlands, number 45, Serge Zwicker. For Arizona at guard, a 6'5" junior from Fulton, California, number 34, Miles Simon. For North Carolina at guard, a 6'6" sophomore from Orlando, Florida, number 15, Vince Carter. For Arizona at guard, a 6'1" freshman from Phoenix, Arizona, number 10, Mike Bibby. For North Carolina at guard, a 6'2" junior from Greenville, South Carolina, number 3, Shammond Williams. And the coaches for Arizona in his 24th season, Lute Olson. For North Carolina in his 36th season, Dean Smith.
All right, Billy, time for the Packer points leading into the semifinal.
Well, Jimmy, it's always interesting to try to size up what's going to happen in a basketball game, so let's take a look at it. Quick versus quick, I'm talking about Jamison Davison. Tremendous offensive player inside, a great defensive player inside. Who gets the upper hand right here? Point number 2, the zone busters. North Carolina plays a great zone, but Arizona has great perimeter shooting. We're going to see Dickerson and Simon and Vivian Terry off on the outside. Can they bust that North Carolina zone? Point number 3, the youthful point. We're talking about 2 freshman guards. How many years have we said you got to have senior leadership in the backcourt? Here we have 2 freshmen that have played as well as anybody back there. Who gets the upper hand at the point position? At point number 4, the high flyers. Great matchup here. Carter against Dickerson. Dickerson exploded in the first game against North Carolina. Can he control it here today?
'66-year-old Dean Smith is 11th, Final Four. 62-year-old Lute Olson, his 4th Final Four, the 3rd time he's directed the Arizona Wildcats to basketball's promised land. Boudreau, Clougherty, and Patillo, the officials for Game 1 tonight.
Jim, John Clougherty is setting an all-time record as a referee. This is his 10th Final Four, the all-time leader.
Arizona in the dark uniform, tips to Simon for a 2-point basket 3 seconds into the game.
Not what was intended at all on the back tip. There's that Davison-Jamison matchup. Could be the key to this game, particularly early. A lot of interior screening by North Carolina.
Carter, back of the rim. Zwicker tipped it outside again, not as planned. Simon goes inside. Chased down by Dickerson.
There are 2 taps, Jim, by North Carolina, both of which went to Arizona.
Zwicker controls it this time. Williams pull up 3.
The MVP of the East region, the MVP of the ACC tournament, on quite a roll.
Here's Davison, guarded by Jamison, who will be whistled for that one.
Jamison late getting there defensively. Davison not known for his scoring, but primarily for his running ability and defensive. But let's face it, North Carolina has no depth whatsoever, Jim. They'll come in with Ed Cota, and basically this is a 6-man squad.
That is it. So Bennett Davison, no, not a scorer per se, 10-point average, but he did come up with a huge game in the regional final against Providence. He had 14 points, 12 rebounds. And he held Austin Crozier to 12 points, below his 26-point tournament average.
Libby picking up high, realizing that Ed Cota is the primary ball handler for North Carolina, but he does not start. So they'll give Williams all they can handle.
Davison goes to the lane, out to Okalaja. Jamison puts it back up quickly.
Has anybody gotten off the floor quicker with hands than Jamison? Not that I've seen in a while.
And that's what you talked about, because Davison, man he's matched up again, can also jump quickly. Bramlett comes up short on the flip. Ball on the floor. It'll be North Carolina possession.
Jim, A.J. Bramlett has played great basketball in the NCAA tournament. Offensively, he's been really outstanding. Double figures in points and rebounds in almost every single game. But he has not played against a 7'3" shot blocker like Serge Zwicker.
Whistle away from the ball.
Is it holding on the inside?
It's Davison on that matchup against Jamison. So they each have an early personal.
Probably not a good foul for Davison because there was no chance whatsoever on that little pick and roll move for the ball to go that quickly inside. Cheap foul. Switch inside. Bramlett now with Jamison. See if North Carolina tries to get the ball to him. There he is.
Carter, 10 on the shot clock. Jamison drives past Davison and travel.
Beautiful help by Bramlett. North Carolina showing man-to-man, but remember we talked about that opening game of the year. At that point, North Carolina was into a lot of trapping. Now they go back, show their zone for the first time. They're no longer a trapping team. They like to play inside the top of the key.
Bibby steps out. Carter rips away the rebound. Williams ahead, and what a pass.
Well, we remember in this very gym the great pass from Bobby Hurley to Grant Hill on the lob.
Yeah.
This one wasn't quite as spectacular, but close.
That too happened early in the game, but at the other end of the floor. That's as good a lob as you can ask for from midcourt.
Good hand by Okalaja.
Simon, who had 30 in the regional final against Providence. Here's Dickerson. Way off the mark.
Gives Zwicker some credit on that. Although it was not a shot block, it was shot altered.
Jamon Williams again. Jamison puts it back up and in.
Jim, I will say this time and time again. People watching him for the first time, you will not see a player get off the floor as quickly as Jamison does with those great hands.
Already with 6. Now Bibby. Spins out.
North Carolina showing superiority off the glass early in this ball game.
Zwicker outside.
He will take that shot, which makes it difficult to play Jamison inside because you must go out. Hard to double down. North Carolina goes zone, changing defenses here early in the first half.
So the 7-3 center puts Carolina up by 7.
Time for Dickerson to get off, Jim. They've got to get him scoring.
Stolen away. 2-on-1.
Carter's a finisher.
And 1. Foul on Bibby.
Now, Lute Olson is waiting for the TV timeout, but this run is something he's got to be very careful. He looks up there and says, he's got a timeout coming shortly. How about this pass, Jimmy?
Right at midcourt.
Jamison going up there. Beautiful hands. To be quite honest with you, technically,
He was almost over the cylinder.
He sure was, because that ball was real close to going in. And there's Carter. I said he's a great finisher. Lute Olson getting his timeout. TV.
A 20-second timeout. They'll get the full timeout should they make the free throw. Should Carter make the free throw to complete the three-point play. Carolina has won 16 straight. Its last loss was 2 months ago today, January 29th against Duke.
Right, they did not lose a game in February or March so far. And Jim, what we see is great superiority so far by North Carolina off the boards. This is a very big basketball team, particularly with Zwicker in the middle.
That flawless February was the first one for Carolina since 1977, a year the team advanced all the way to the national championship game.
Losing to Marquette, now McGuire. Jim, remember one thing for Arizona fans. They were behind by 10 points in 2 games right off the bat in this NCAA tournament and came back to win.
And both were in the second half. Simon, no whistle.
There's Zwicker again, plays with a ball way above his head, doesn't bring it down.
Cota lobs it, and Carter's there.
Big concern right now by Lute Olson. His young team, without one senior that plays, in some trouble here early. And North Carolina loves to pack that zone when they get a lead.
The next stoppage in play will be the TV timeout. Olson's holding on for it. He's already had a 20. Davison turnaround, and that breaks the drought. for the Wildcats.
Very few players in the country can elevate as quickly as Davison, so Zwicker wasn't the problem that he normally concerns players with, sitting down in the middle of that zone.
After 10 unanswered and 4 minutes without scoring. Now Zwicker, hook shot blocked by Davison. And there's the whistle. Out of bounds. It'll be Arizona ball out of the timeout. Carolina with 8 rebounds to only 2 for the Cats, and twice they've lobbed for sensational baskets early. That represented the biggest deficit of the tournament so far for Arizona. Dean Smith broke the record against Colorado, and he was surprised on his coach's show the next day with a jersey from his team.
Jim, interesting at North Carolina, in the Dean Dome, you get your jersey hung if you've been a 2-time All-American or National Player of the Year. I wonder if Dean will allow him to hang his jersey in his own arena.
It will happen one day.
I hope
be
so.
Sure of that.
Here's that zone packed in. Nice lob.
Back door to go, and they connect. Bibby to Simon.
Excellent screen against the zone. Dickerson, Carter. Boy, there's some great one-on-one matchups there. And there's Jamison with that quickly.
Tip no good. Third try, Jamison short. And Bibby comes out of the pack.
Good block out by A.J. Bramlett.
Simon passes up the 3. Davison travels.
He had the little jump shot, Jim, and he's got to understand North Carolina is very good at taking charges, whether it be from the weak side or a guy driving down the lane. When you've got the little 12-foot jumper, you got to take it.
So Ed Cota, number 5, the ACC Rookie of the Year.
And assist leader.
Some battle inside. Davison second.
Jim, it's kind of interesting. 1990, there was an ACC freshman guard that brought a team to the Final Four, Kenny Anderson. That's the last ACC freshman guard that's led the league in assists. Cota coming right in behind him.
The only
New York.
other freshman to ever do that in the ACC was Jeff Jones at Virginia. Freshman to lead the conference in assists.
I can't believe that Davison is still in the game.
And the foul call will go against Arizona.
Jim, Davison, very dangerous to have him in the game. Let's see if Lute Olson's going to substitute him. He's got 2 fouls now.
They call that on Dickerson, Billy, not Bramlett.
And it is. Davison's going to sit down. Nice precautionary move here by Lute Olson, because Jamison is so difficult to guard. He'd pick up that 3rd early here in the first half.
You saw Eugene Edgerson come in, freshman from New Orleans, number 33 for the Wildcats.
Also very athletic, good leaper, but he gives up a lot of size now on Jamison.
17-8 Tar Heels. Back in Shammond Williams. Williams for Carter.
Now this is a substitution pattern that really doesn't hurt North Carolina at all, because Williams, although he can play point, likes to play the second guard.
Well, we say they only go 6 deep. They go to a 7th man, Makhtar Jai, 6'9" junior from Senegal.
Well, Jim, I'll give you an example. Terry coming in the game, other than the 6 that play primarily, out of 2,651 points, the rest of the members of the team have scored 151. That'll give you an idea about a lack of depth. Jai in there to take up minutes and space. Little mismatch here, Terry and Okalaja.
3 white. Shammond Williams raising his hand after committing his first.
Well, one of the things that the players should pick up here quickly, that the offside official is watching hand checking away from the ball. That's the 2nd call made like that today.
Simon, 3-pointer. That is something in Arizona's last 2 visits to the Final Four has really troubled them. 3-point shooting. Simon Pure with that one. Bibby steals it.
And kicks it.
No call, though. They didn't call the kick.
Nice move.
Kept it alive, but Okalaja gets it over to Jai to Williams.
Well, that was a brilliant play by Bibby. He had to figure if a teammate was coming, get it up high.
Edgerson with 2 Tar Heels on him. Kicks it over to Bibby and out of traffic.
Jump shot.
He'll take the 3.
Jamison really running down court, but Ederson is quick as well. North Carolina a little out of sync here. Really out of sync.
Twice Jai has had the pass go right by him. Carolina ball. We'll bring back in Carter. Carter for Ogalaja.
Well, as I said, Jim, you'll see the block on the inside. Beautiful job, but Jai in there to play defense, rebound, take up space, and give some breathing room for Zwicker or Ogalaja.
Donnell Harris in for Bramlett. Harris, a 6'11" sophomore. He started in that first game of the season against North Carolina, had 9 points and 7 rebounds.
Davison, of course, a junior college transfer, not quite ready at that point to step in the starting lineup.
So 3 subs on the floor for Arizona, down 6. Cota just beat the shot clock, and Arizona sees it might have the numbers.
Simon will pull up.
He'll take that 3. He's got 2 of them.
Very bad defensive maneuver there by North Carolina. Simon with 30 points, the MVP of the regional. Hits one jumper. You can't let a man like that who's got the ball go unguarded.
He has 10 of Arizona's 14. Williams blocked by Terry. Out to Simon. Ahead to Terry. Cota with the quick hands. Makes the theft.
Game a little frenetic right now, and to be quite honest with you, that's what Arizona's like. How about that move?
To avoid the charge, Carter just kind of slid right around the body of the defender for 2.
Vince Carter put on a little bit of a dunking show here yesterday, Jim. One of the real high flyers in the college game.
And the highlight of open practice before some 25,000. Simon.
He tried to draw the draw the defensive play by Carter. Watch this.
Oh, is that almost over the top of the backboard? Carter still got a hand on it.
Dean Smith probably would like to have a timeout, but he doesn't like to call him. His team is really kind of out of sync here, going for the spectacular as opposed to the solid. That's not the way they win.
Terry traveled. And the under 12 timeout. Simon has hit 4 out of 6 from the field. This is the 7th time he's been to a Final Four, but the first as a player. His father brought him 6 times, and he's enjoying the stage, trying to bring the Cats back.
Pizza Hut employee memo number 13.
Zone, but watch what happens. A solid screen from the back, another screen over here. Here comes the man through, the lob to the top. 1 screen, 2 screens, weak side, right over the top. Perfect execution against the zone.
North Carolina ball leading 19-14. Jim Nance, Billy Packer from Indianapolis.
Davison back in the game, Jim, with 2 fouls. Watch quickly if Jamison touches it.
Carter turnaround. And Harris took it away from Zwicker.
Arizona has the numbers.
There's Davison, baseliner. And Williams with the rebound.
Dickerson, who has 5 30-point games on the year, Jim, has not scratched yet. I always think it's important to go ahead and get your leading score in the game. And they've gone a half of a half here, and he has not scored.
Jamison rejected by Harris. Dickerson's only attempted 1 shot, and he had 31 against Carolina the first time. Here he is, over Carter. As you called for it, he got the chance. But wild on the shot. Both of his have missed by a lot.
Fun to watch Davison and Jamison. Boy, they're so quick off their feet.
Speaking of quick, no one's quicker than Terry with the hands. 3-pointer. Brings it to a 2-point lead. North Carolina, 19-17.
Arizona on the year is 192 threes out of their key perimeter shooter. Terry being one of them.
They're 3 out of 6 today from beyond the arc. Carter +1.
That's Davison's third. As I said, a big gamble by Lute Olson to bring him back here. He's going to have to sit down. This really hurts Arizona. Davison so quick off his feet, but he's picked up 3. 1 cheap one and 2 in attempts to make blocks. And this was not on Jamison. This was on Carter. Cota, just a pinpoint passer. Cota moving on Kenny Smith's all-time season record. 4 assists. He came into the game needing only 5 to pass him.
Carter goes out, Okalaja back in. Carter with 11.
North Carolina gets out of the zone, goes to man-to-man. Dean Smith looks like he wants working margins at certain points to go into that zone.
Harris pinned. Skip pass to Bibby. Freshman on freshman. Bibby comes up short. Two-point shot. Foul on Zwicker. Near the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, we select the Chevrolet most valuable player of the game from each team. To date, Chevrolet has contributed almost $6.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. Simon back in, coming off his career high 30, already with 10. Bibby out for a blow.
And North Carolina goes zone. They've got everybody down inside the three-point lane right now.
Dickerson on the board with his first 3. He's been slumping from outside, making only 3 of 21 in the tournament. There's the block without a whistle.
North Carolina going to the lob a lot, and as quick as Arizona is off the floor, I'm surprised.
That pass thrown away. Chance on that possession to tie the game.
Jim, you mentioned three-point shooting, and you mentioned previous Final Four. Steve Kerr, one of the great shooters of all time in college basketball, came into the Final Four and had a horrible shooting situation, and did Stoudemire, when he came into the Final Four, did as well. And so that had been the problem for Lute Olson in previous Final Four trips at Arizona. Not
Carter with a behind-the-back slam. What a spectacular first half by Carter.
Perimeter shooting against lob passing.
4 times they've lobbed it inside for dunks. Bramlett, bounce pass, Harris open.
Dean Smith can't believe a little picking assignment. The switch by North Carolina, nobody picked up.
24-22, North Carolina. 7:30 remaining, first half. Okalaja takes the jumper and commits the foul, bumping into Simon.
You notice how North Carolina's fouls, Jim, have been picked up trying to go for loose balls. Arizona much quicker getting to the spot.
Carter with 13. And how about that one? It looked like, well, it looks like so far the dunking exhibition he put on yesterday to the delight of all the fans in practice. 2-point lead, Tar Heels, first half. We'll be right back. No stranger to Saturday night on CBS, enjoying the Final Four. Chuck Norris, North Carolina leads by 2, and Arizona with possession. And Simon ties it at 24.
A fearless scorer, Jim. He's pointed out in the regional, he's not a great shooter, but he's an outstanding scorer. And how about this? Little zone defense by Lute Olson.
Zwicker stepped on the end line. Arizona can take the lead after being down 11.
Nice change up by Lute Olson. Jim, he was to a Final Four in Indianapolis before, but not with Arizona.
1980.
That's right. He brought Iowa in here.
He lost to the eventual national champion Louisville Cardinals.
Yes, he did. And then he lost to Purdue in the consolation. What was the consolation game then? Had the great Ronnie Lester was hurt. Unfortunately, they didn't come in at full strength.
Hoda back in for Carolina. Arizona looking for the lead.
North Carolina changing their zone a little bit here. Jamison running the baseline.
Terry off on the 3. Tipped around on the floor. And they call a foul instead of a tie-up situation.
I think it's going to be Dickerson reaching in on Cota. Cota's hands are so good and strong that even a guy like Dickerson can't pull it away from him.
That's the 6th team foul, the 2nd on Dickerson. Billy, you were talking about the errant shooting by Arizona in its other 2 Final Fours. To complete that thought, Steve Kerr was 2 out of 12 from 3.
Right.
And Damon Stoudemire was 2 of 13 down in Charlotte back in '94. And
Reeves was 0 for 9.
0 for 9.
So there you had, you know, their big weapons. And remember, if I can remember in that particular game, Damon Stoudemire, Jim, remember the only one he made was at halftime was like a throw.
Almost midcourt.
Yeah.
If you factor in Kenny Laughlin going 0 for 3 from 3, those 4 athletes went 4 for 37 at the Final Four from three-point range.
So their best weapon became really a deficit for that game.
They're having better success, we might add, tonight from three-point range.
Arizona doing a fine job on the defensive board.
Dickerson, not that time.
North Carolina got a little bit too aggressive when they got that lead. Second time, Zwicker takes his jumper.
Jamison almost tipped it in, and Carter trampled Simon.
Simon was recruited for some time by the University of North Carolina.
Wanted to go there. That was his dream. He used to wear Carolina t-shirts and baseball caps as a young man. Jai comes back.
And Simon missed the first 11 games for academic suspension this year, but during that time paid his own way to road games to see his team play. Back to man goes North Carolina. Simon recognized it, real student of the game.
He got a letter from Dean Smith his junior year in high school, said we have enough players at that position. Dante Calabria, Donald Williams. You're going to be a great player, but I don't think we're going to have room for you. They take it away.
Sensational defensive play.
You got it. Charge on Shammond Williams.
Not a good decision by Williams after making a great defensive play. Good job getting back by Bibby.
Second on Williams.
And here's a shooter, Jim. He never should go in there. Pull up. He's got men trailing in behind him, particularly Jamison. If he pulls up at the foul line, he hits the trailer for an easy layup. Made it easy for Bibby.
All right, this is the 4th trip with Arizona looking to take the lead. Game's been tied at 24. Dickerson, quick first step, and he'll go to the line for 2. Jai with the foul.
And as Lou Olson says, the quickest first step at Arizona since Sean Elliott, and Carter can attest to that on that move.
Arizona has really won the battle at the line during the tournament, Billy.
Well, you love to see that, Jim. It means that you're going to the offensive glass, you're handling the ball well, you're taking good shot selections. And Dickerson recognized right away that there was no weak side help. And by the time you get there, if you're not planted for him, he'll be at the basket.
Arizona's first lead since 4-3. Zwicker back in for Carolina.
Dickerson was Arizona's top man in the NCAA tournament last year, averaging over 18 points a game in the tournament.
Edgerson back for Arizona for Harris. 26-24 Wildcats.
North Carolina was in control of this game early, and they got a little bit too overzealous trying to make the big play.
22-9 Zona after trailing by 11. Jamison and Bramlett got a piece of the hand.
Bramlett would be much better off being assigned to the guy playing in the low post. When he has to go out and chase, he's not Davison and he's not Harris.
So the second team All-America, Antoine Jamison, sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, will shoot 2. He's had 29 career double-doubles.
You know, I give you a stat that, you read so much when you're doing these teams. I couldn't believe this one, and Jamison becomes the first back-to-back North Carolina ACC first-team guy since Brad Daugherty, way back in the 85-86 period. Of course, he did it freshman, sophomore years, which is quite an accomplishment in that league. Again, back to the zone with Jamison running the baseline.
Inside 5 minutes, first half, game tied. Stolen away, and Carter's off.
Oh, that's an intentional.
They got to call that. Grab them by the jersey. They're going to count the basket. Let's see if it's intentional.
Now, if the foul was called, and it should have been intentional, Jim, before the basket, I think you have right here an intentional foul. Right there should have been intentional, and the basket should not have counted. Don't agree with that call at all. Here's the foul coming up from behind, not playing the ball. That's intentional.
And the whistle was there, too.
Absolutely. This basket should not have counted. Should have been intentional. 2 shots and the ball out of bounds.
16 for Carter. His high was 26 against Wake Forest. over Zwicker. Well, that's asking a lot to go over the 7-3 anchor.
It's the same play we diagrammed before, but there was no screen, no back screen on Zwicker, so he could stay there and cause a problem for Simon.
Cota tips it. Williams back to Cota. Zwicker blocked by Arizona. Wow, what a sequence.
Great play by all parties, particularly the hustle by Bramlett.
Tough pass, North Carolina ball. They turn it over.
Does Cota have some hands, Jim? Not only off the dribble, we'll see the play here. Great save by Williams. Cota taps, Zwicker on the run, not that agile. The back screen for Jamison. Good adjustment by Arizona.
Zwicker, jumper for 2. Big Center has 4. Carolina by 5. 7 unanswered. And a steal, and the numbers again for the Heels. Carter takes the middle. Cota on a wing. Back trailer. Jamison can't find it.
North Carolina not converting on 2 terrific opportunities on the break.
Dickerson, open 3. Bramlett held from behind by Jamison.
Well, Zwicker putting his hands down. Which one got the call?
Jamison seemed to be like pulling him down.
I know what Jamison's complaining about. He felt he was undercut on the last jump shot he took on the other end. Dean Smith will be forced at 3:33 to get Jamison out of there if that's his second.
It is his second. Okalaja comes in for him. Bramlett, not a very good free throw shooter at the line for a 1-and-1. He's only 49%. He's tried all kinds of new methods. Now he's gone with the 1 foot in front of the other routine. 1-and-1. Bramlett smooth on that one.
Then we talked about Bramlett. South Alabama, 9 points, 16 rebounds. He comes back with 12 points and 15 rebounds against College of Charleston, and 12 and 12 against Kansas. Played well.
Solid stroke with those 2. Arizona's Bibby has been shut out so far, and the Cats are down 3.
You got this.
31-28, North Carolina. Arizona's turned it over 11 times. Carter, 6 of 8 field goals. The rest of the North Carolina team is 6 of 24 from the field, 25%.
Jim Carter has had a fine NCAA tournament as well. Opening game against Fairfield, he had 22 points. And, of course, had an outstanding game against Louisville with 6 for 10 shooting, 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. So he's playing outstanding basketball. Both teams, the Davison-Jamison matchup, we will not see the rest of the half. Both players in a little foul trouble.
Williams, pass deflected and stolen. Bibby 0 for 3 from the field. Fourth shot, way off. Dickerson tips it once. Out to Dickerson, gives it up outside. Dickerson. They say it was off Arizona. 3 Tar Heels around him. Bramlett touched it last.
Dickerson a little hesitant on that jump shot, Jim. We saw him have one of his poorest games against the University of Michigan in an overtime loss that Arizona had up against Michigan. He's starting to pull back a little bit on that jump shot, not shooting it loose.
That was a day, though, he kept on shooting, and he's never found the touch. He's 1 for 5 today. Okalaja,
not a good shot.
Zwicker. Rejected in Arizona.
Bramlett continues to play well. Both ends of the floor.
This could tie it. Terry from the corner. Dickerson got away with a reach-in.
Yeah, good block out by Okalaja. They're not giving Williams a jump shot. He has to shoot most of his jumpers off the dribble today, and he likes to shoot it in a standstill position. He's only 1 for 4.
Terry with the quick hand. He snags it. Got a man on the wing. It's Bibby. 3-pointer for the tie.
There's Bramlett again doing a great job on the boards.
Bibby now 0 for 5 shooting. So you've got Bibby and Dickerson, a combined 1 of 10. And they're only down 3. Final 2 minutes of the half. Dickerson. 1:30 in the half.
North Carolina players, Jim, showing some signs of fatigue right now. You can see there goes Carter down. They're really tired.
Simon and Harris for Arizona into the lineup. Carter wants out.
You see the play on the inside. Carter going up, nothing left. He goes down and sits there for a while. Now, one of the things that will help North Carolina, timeouts, TV timeouts are 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So double what they are normally, almost like a mini halftime.
Bibby again. Yes. That ties it at 31. Bibby hitting for the first time at the Final Four. They had missed their last 10 shots. Another pass off the backboard after hitting the front of the rim last time. Simon, and Arizona's back in front.
Jim, fatigue is really getting to North Carolina, and it's costing them dearly. Good job by Simon. Arizona, as we knew from the beginning, quicker and deeper, and really taking advantage of it here in the last 2 minutes of the first half. See, Spicker just doesn't have any quickness left. Simon beats him. Just like a boxer, he can sense when his opponent is getting tired, and he strikes.
Spicker second. And Simon can complete the three-point play. 15 for Simon.
And everybody runs away. See, they run away from Cota just going down court. If you're Dean Smith, you think you might want to take all of this possession, and he is. He's pulling it out. But they will have to give up the ball. There's about 20-second differential here. Boy, you get tired, you get confused. We saw Arizona Providence at the end of the regional final game.
Williams.
That's not his shot when he has to do it off the dribble.
In the final 20 seconds, Arizona can go for the last shot. Go to the locker room with the lead. They're up 3. They can increase it here.
Great job by Arizona. Give Terry a lot of credit. He came off the bench, did it on both ends of the floor.
Bibby starts the drive at 7. Bibby through the hands of Bramlett. Williams not in time. The last 8 points of the half to Arizona. After a 15-4 start for the Tar Heels, Arizona outscores them 30-16 the remainder of the first half.
Kind of like the run in the first game that they had, Jim. At the halftime, that game was tied.
Michelle Tafoya is with us. Michelle?
All right, guys, a nice run to finish up the first half after North Carolina got off to a hot start. What changed for you?
Well, we were not getting back defensively and giving them opportunities in transition, so we just took another guy off of the glass and said get back, and we'll battle them with two guys on the boards. But the big thing was that we started knocking down some shots. So you know, the guys will come after people, so now it's a matter of whether we hit the shots or not.
All right, Coach, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim, let's send it back to you.
Lute Olson was hired as the Arizona coach 14 years ago today. He's 20 minutes away from advancing to the national championship game. Arizona 34, North Carolina 31 at halftime, and CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA basketball championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA National Semifinal game is sponsored by UPS, Xerox, the Principal Financial Group, and by